Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Hearthstone Legendary Series Week 6 quarterfinals. It's time for our last quarterfinal of the day. We have Trump versus Magicamy from Team Solo Mid versus Tempo Storm. This one is a cool one, not only because it's been a while since we've seen Trump compete, but even more so than that, we actually haven't seen Magicamy much at all outside of ESL. And now that she's on Tempo Storm, a lot of people are closely keeping an eye on her performance.
She was very, very impressive a few weeks ago when we saw her in Week 5 of the Legendary Series. And she earned a lot of heads. And I think that this is definitely going to be a good showdown. And I think you said it earlier, I won't be surprised and I won't be upset with whoever makes it through.
Right.
But it's going to be a good one. I sort of... It's also about who's cuter.
I don't think there's a contest.
Yeah, I know. Trump definitely has that one by a mile.
Yeah, so this match is going to be pretty much the same thing as you guys have been seeing for a while. It's a best of 5. They guys pre-submit their lineup. We have Mage, Druid, and Warlock versus Hunter, Warlock, and Warrior for Trump. Now, I wonder what kind of mage Magigamy's bringing. If she's bringing a freeze mage or anything that involves secrets, that can get blown away if Hunter has a lot of pressure. And I feel like Trump might be playing a very aggressive type of Hunter. You know, I feel like in general Trump's pegged to be very predictable, but I feel like whenever you have a grasp upon him, he's willing to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Every tournament I've seen, it's been that case.
When you're a player who's unpredictable, it opens up more, or when you're predictable, it opens up more opportunities for you to be unpredictable. Like, being predictable is probably an attribute that a player would want, because it opens up more opportunities for them to take people by surprise.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, if you're unpredictable, then it's like, I guess people are more on guard. Is that what you're saying? Compared to if you are predictable? Okay.
Exactly.
But then you wouldn't be predictable if you do something that's unpredictable.
Well, that's when you break the mold and then go back to being predictable. So then people think you're unpredictable. They're on guard. All of a sudden, you hit them with the predictable. Then what?
Mind games.
Mind games. That's what Trump's all about, is mind games.
Gotcha. Well, he is like the professor of Hearthstone. Trump is a guy who's spent a lot of time educating his audience, whether it's on his YouTube channel or on his Twitch. There's a lot to be said about what he's done, not for the community, but also for his own brand and standing. Once upon a time, a competitive StarCraft player, hence the SC after his username. But people now know him primarily as the go-to guy for beginner, intermediate Hearthstone, as well as learning how to draft Arena. He's been very good about that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Magicamy, she's been a floating presence for a long time across a lot of Twitch channels. People saw her being friends with all the pros, but they didn't know much about her. Turns out she's actually a very good Hearthstone player, and the people from Tempo Storm, especially Raynad, took notice about her skills in the previous week's ESL. So let's see if it carries over. It's going to start off with Hunter versus Mage, and right off the bat, it looks like Trump is playing a very aggressive Hunter. He's got Jeeves in his deck. He's also got some Mech. This is going to be very interesting.
Mech Hunter.
Mech Hunter.
I wonder if he's running the... oh man, what even is it? The Mech Hunter card that gives you your mechs.
It's called...
The admin's
the leaping something.
The admin say in our ear, leaping something?
But he said it very Valley-esque.
It's a cat. It's some sort of mechanical cat creature.
Oh, man. And that might be bad news against Hunter, which can pop the ice block from just its hero power alone if it puts enough pressure on. Now, the Pilot Shredders doesn't surprise me at all. What I want to look for are cards, like you said, the leaping something as well. Oh, this time Gooby didn't do so well. He got 3 and 3.
Oh, Gooby.
But,
come on.
I'm looking for whether or not Trump also has other cards to synergize with some of these mechs that could be really powerful.
Yeah, it seems like unless you are having those cards that synergize with it, then I think the standard Death Rattle Hunter might even be better because you're cutting something for these mechs. And what could that something be? Well, I guess Mech Warpers can take the spot of
Oh man.
I don't even know.
I really am scared about how much damage it can, the Mech Hunter can do if I think about it. Like, because it has basically a Savage Roar attached to that card.
But you're splitting your opening. So you're like, well, I can have a really good Mech Warper opening, or I can have a really good Undertaker opening.
Yeah, it felt like that's what Mage was doing when they had Undertaker and Mana Worm for a little bit of time. Like, they had ways it could be super aggressive through its spells, and then grabbing tempo, or it can just get Death Rattle with like Loot Hoarder, and that was like back in the day. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it is right now.
I think that's okay with Mage because they're a little more versatile. But I don't think that's necessarily that great in Hunter. But we'll have to see. I mean, we've only seen, what, 7 cards in this deck, so...
So, Magicamy pops the secret. You want to minimize damage as much as possible. Haunted Creeper, not too much of a threat. It is sticky, so Doomsayers are less effective, but look at this powerful turn here. Trump sees that it's Ice Barrier. Definitely on the knowing side.
Metal Tooth Leaper is the card. No one helped me on that. Pulled that from the deep pool of knowledge that I have in the back of my brain.
What TJ did was he popped a pill from Limitless and accessed his subconscious.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, me.
Do you want to do this cast by yourself? Seems like you got it.
Yeah. Let's go. See you, Dan. I got this one.
This is quite the pickle here for Magicamy. She's like just out of the range to do a lot of things, damage-wise as well as mana-wise. And Trump has no signs of stopping his aggression anytime soon.
An Animal Companion. I guess that's a good card no matter where you put it.
One thing I've always respected about Trump is that he's willing to build his own decks and not listen to what people say are conventional good decks unless he's tried it for himself. He's definitely a player through experience and not necessarily just through theory, even though theoretically he's also done a lot. But I remember so many times throughout Fight Night or other tournaments, he's just brought stuff that people he shared deck lists with teammates and they're just like, I don't think this is good. And Trump's like, I don't care, and he still wins with it.
Trump, I don't know what you're doing right now.
Oh man, Huffer's bad news for the Mage player. So much pressure. And that is confirmation that most likely this is a nice block.
Yeah. And doesn't empty his hand just yet. He thought about emptying his hand, and reversing switch could have been a little awkward on what he used it on. And then just throwing down the Jeeves to start getting that draw engine early on.
One thing that a reversing switch is really good for too is killing Doomsayer. It's a 0-7 that if you flip it, it becomes a 7-0 and it automatically kills itself.
It's really good at that, but how often, one, do you get reversing switch, and two, get reversing switch in a situation where either your opponent's running Doomsayer?
It's happened to me several times when I'm playing Freeze Mage against Hunter.
Wow.
Well, Trump uses the reversing switch here. And this is where he's getting 3 cards, but he is going to get heavily punished by Blizzard.
There it is!
The Metal Tooth Leaper. But unfortunately, it's about to go kaboom.
Wow.
Yikes.
Blood Mage Thanos as well.
That's still a lot of minions that came out on board.
Yeah.
He killed everything, and still 6 power remain. That's scary stuff. But now the explosive sheet becomes really strong.
Yeah, can clear the entire board next turn, just about, depending on what comes down.
We'll have to imagine Trump wants to take this still a little bit on the slower side of things, like Haunted Creeper. I know you're trying to hero power.
Yeah.
You want to be weaving in the hero power just because it's just so good to continue put damage on Mage.
And once upon a time, this matchup was actually really great for the Hunter. But now, they don't run Flare anymore. I haven't seen a Hunter deck that ran Flare in quite a bit of time. Might start to come back with the popularity of Mage increasing a bit.
Sure, sure.
But being at 2 mana and being a very inefficient card in pretty much every matchup but the Mirror and Mage, it's can sometimes be a risky card to put in a deck. But if you could fit Metal Tooth Leaper in, you could probably fit Flare.
I would assume that the deck's too lean to have Flare.
That's true.
You're not trying to cycle towards anything, and
it's lean.
you're making a call to shut down other people's traps.
Yeah.
Definitely on the optimistic side of things. It's like Magicamy doesn't trust in the Arcane Intellect being able to do much. And once again clears a significant amount of damage, but there's still so many sticky minions. Undertaker, a pretty decent draw here. Magicamy, of course, looking to try and grab a Flame Strike as soon as possible. This Metal-Tooth Leaper actually only gives +2 stats.
Yeah,
But even so, it's a 5/3, right?
Yeah, that's
3
still
mana.
that's still good though. Well, in this case, just because you deny
Still
draws.
really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's very inconsistent, I guess. I mean, it's sort of in the same vein as a lot of other those 3 mana 3 drops
Maybe.
like Blood.
Oh, what a draw! Oh man, that's.
I'm
definitely
sorry.
not good. Oh, Trump is like, what is it? And I think he knows. It's time for Flame Strike.
Oh no! Trump didn't even react. I'm very sad.
He did. He looked off whimsically to the side.
That's a very tame Trump reaction, though. Well, there's a second Metal Tooth Leaper.
I guess at its vanilla vanilla state too, it's still a 3/3.
Yeah, like I said, it's similar to like Mind Control Tech, Blood
Right.
Knight.
Well, it's time to call for the big guns. Trump's in big trouble.
This is so much reach right now. He's only on a couple turn clock now.
Oh man, Trump already looks pretty defeated here. Maybe this web spinner though can crush dreams.
Nope. I mean, it's
What if he gets King Crush?
yeah, that's possible, but I just don't see it happening.
Because actually he can't kill him anymore without Flare. He's done
Yeah.
too much damage.
Yeah.
This will do 17 damage. That means that guarantees him.
Kill the
Oh, I guess
Metal-Tooth
she plays
Leaper?
around Flare too. If you Fireball the Metal-Tooth Leaper, it's like playing around Flare. Because then she could Flare into Kill Command or something like that. King Crush? Nope. Guess not.
Oasis Snapjaw. The turtle.
It's okay if you Fireball the Facer, because you still have 13 points of burn next turn. So
Yeah.
actually, sorry, you have.
Aha!
Oh yeah, you have 13 points. So just attack, and then you guarantee it. Very safe, just in case. But Trump knows exactly what this means. He's dead. There's no way for him to actually survive and win this game.
The Glaive Zuka. Alright, well, an interesting deck from Trump, but it does not prevail. And we'll have to see.
Very slick moves from Amy this game. There were some decisions where it was a little bit tricky and she was under a lot of pressure, but she was able to navigate pretty effectively.
Indeed.
And Antonite is just going off and single-handedly 2-turn killing.
Aha!
Aw, look at that. There's some cute camaraderie happening. Like Trump's clapping and applauding and she sends him a heart. Look at that. Hearthstone flirting. Oh, you guys.
Oh, man. Trump.
Oh.
That guy.
Collectively, every guy in chat is super jealous right now.
Yeah. Everybody's swooning.
Well, it's just a distraction too, because like in the end, when the game starts, it's just you're playing against a mage, or you're playing against a hunter. You're not necessarily like, I mean, you could play the player, but a lot of times you have to play the game for the most part. And now that Freeze Mage has been revealed, maybe that pans into Trump leaning towards Warrior in the blind pick stage, so that way he always has something against Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
But of course, this isn't last hero standing where Trump can just go to the Warrior. Instead, now they switch into a different portion. They go to the lineup section where the Druid is going up against the Warlock. You'll have to wait till game 4 before the blind pick stage.
And if you think about it, this is a smart deck choice by Magicamy as well to put a deck
so.
that's good against Warrior alongside a Freeze Mage.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty true. So that way, it's like a very double-edged sword. If you pick the Warrior and I pick Druid, it's like you die.
Yeah.
It's actually very smart the way you pin it, because it's like, well, if Warrior's so popular, why should you bring Freeze Mage? But it's like, if you see that your opponent's not bringing Warrior, or even better yet, he's bringing Handlock, you have an ability to kill it with a lot of direct damage.